Are our gods aliens? For thousands of years, human beings have had faith in God, a deity that is all-knowing, all-powering, and their savior. Whenever they feel like calling him, they would look up to the sky as though God must not reside on this earth but somewhere else into the heavens. Well, you never thought that your gods can be aliens, is it? Let's get into the video and figure out whether it is reality-based or not. And we have comments of some famous figures in the end, so don't forget to watch the video till the end. All religions in the world are based on this basic concept of God, something or someone who has all powers over anything and everything. There may be a single god or too many gods, based upon humans' interpretations and preferences. Despite apparently being contradictory to each other, different religions in the world have had this one positioning in common, that God created the universe and all the exceptional objects we see out there, and then he created humans as something special. However, on the other hand, there has always been a significant amount of people who like to think logically. They trust things that can be proved, perceived, or measured. This is called science, and people who possess such a mindset are called scientific minds. With the vast expansion of scientific knowledge, humans realize that the universe is far bigger than we can perceive with our limited five senses. This Earth that we call our world is just a tiny part of a gigantic galaxy, and there are millions of such galaxies out there, or even bigger than us. It almost seems arrogant to think that we are alone in this universe. Here raises the question, if the universe is that vast and continuously expanding, why can't there be any other conscious life forms out there? Why did God create such an extraordinarily humongous universe but create consciousness only on Earth? Although it provides humans a sense of being privileged by God, as many religions also suggest that God created humans as his higher creation and created everything for them, including the universe. However, a questioning mind isn't satisfied by such an argument, and asks how God can be so incompatible for creating such an extraordinarily extensive universe only to be left barren. There should and must be extraterrestrial life as well, and whether or not we have encountered them so far, we cannot fully deny the possibility of that happening. And if there are such extraterrestrial beings out there, maybe they are far superior, civilized, and intelligent than us, and perhaps have even visited the Earth unbeknownst to us. A scientific mind only asks such questions and searches out there in the universe for the answers. But religious commonalities have had faith in such life forms in space. They believe in God or gods, evil forces and fallen angels who have more powers than humans and can guide them, save them, and visit them on Earth. All the major religions on Earth offer those stories of their enlightened beings who had been visited by ET existing beings. It is to say that every religion has endorsed and enforced something happening out there. There's also that ancient astronauts theory that suggests that intelligent extra beings visited Earth and made contact with humans in ancient times that stimulated the development of cultures, religions, human biology, and technologies. The theory suggests that ET intelligence also contributed to building the Great Pyramids in Egypt. As the blocks which were to be used were very heavy and the distances the builders had to travel so lengthy, it must be the aliens who helped Egyptian builders to move the blocks with the help of a sled ramp system. The famous astronomer and science fiction writer Garrett Purvis professed in Edison's Conquest of Mars, which is a part of a series of science fiction books and newspaper serials, that they were the giants of Mars that moved large blocks and built the pyramids. The person who has to be credited for the scientific basis to the theory of alien architects is Erich von Däniken, a Swiss author whose 1968th book, Chariots of the Gods, took the theory of ET life forms' involvement in ancient structures building to a new level. His book held a surprising question on its front cover that would ask, was God an astronaut? I would suggest at least 4 times in the past that our planet was visited by beings from outer space. He says, in 1964, von Däniken visited the pyramids and he wondered how ancient people could have built them and whether they had help from ET life forms. He was doubtful how precisely those people connected those heavy blocks. The doubt would lead him to the other possible answers. Von Däniken also wondered if the psychic visions he had at a young age about astronauts' visits from the solar system had any connection with reality. He started to search for the evidence that he found in the primitive artwork discovered by a French explorer Henri Lot in the Sahara. Von Daniken immediately proposed that the cave art exactly looked like E.T. Von Daniken also gained support for his claims by a 1960th French book, The Morning of the Magician, which deeply questioned the authenticity of science and history. The book completely negated the scientific claims about proofless ET existence. It is also notable that pure scientific researchers and great scientists do not completely rule out the possibility of aliens' existence. Famous American researcher and astronomer Seth Shostak seems to be a strong proponent of aliens' presence. He once said, "We still haven't heard anything and we don't know any life beyond Earth, but I'm going to suggest to you that's even going to change rather soon." Seth also stated once in one of his TED Talks that the great Stephen Hawking once warned not to broadcast anything in space because it would tell the aliens about our presence. However, there is also an element of skepticism to it, which cannot be denied if the doubt is suggested by SpaceX founder and Tesla CEO Elon Musk, a prominent figure in the spacefaring business. Musk is a great visionary of permanent and sustainable human colonization on Mars. I want to be clear that to the best of my knowledge there is no evidence of aliens' life on Earth. He opened up further about his views on ET's existence. As far as we know, we are the only life that's out there. There might be another life, but we have seen no signs of it. The reality is, this is the only place, at least in this part of the galaxy, where there is consciousness. Then, there is another question that needs acknowledgement, and that is, if someday we make contact with aliens, what implications would it have on us as humans? We have been told by our religions that we are the most superior creation of God and perhaps his favorite child among other creations. But what would happen to our uniqueness when we come to know that our planet is no longer unique to be the planet to have conscious intelligence? Or whether we would be capable enough to face that encounter? What if aliens have no interest in making friends with us? And if it takes a step further, a new possible question will arise, which will be, what if aliens aren't only God's creations but are gods themselves? Is there any possibility that God was not some mystical being but intelligent beings from space? And if something like that ever happens, how would organized religions react to it? To find the answers, Robert Lawrence Kuhn, a doctorate in neuroscience and the author and editor of over 25 books, took the journey where he would meet several big names of philanthropists, scientists, psychologists, and researchers. He believes that religions cannot overlook the question, would intelligent aliens undermine God? God is nowhere to be found, nor are humans very much important. I will be thrilled to know such a new truth, though deeply disappointed that God will be no more. Robert went to London to meet Russell Stannard, a famous physicist who focuses on science and religion. Russell said if he was ever to meet aliens, he would rather be interested to know their take on God. It does raise an interesting question as to how Jesus relates to them, aliens. Russell puts an argument that according to Christianity, Jesus, the eternal Son of God who took a human form and fought for humans, is it possible that the same eternal Son of God takes on a form of E.T. to act as their savior? And whether E.T. needs a savior. Robert also visited San Francisco to meet scientists interested in searching E.T., where astronomer Jules took quite an optimistic approach and said, "I think we have seen millennia of the counterexamples that organized religion is extraordinarily flexible and over the past thousands of years has been able to adjust itself to accommodate different cosmologies, different knowledge, and I would be very surprised if more organized religions would not be able to embrace the new knowledge that there are other intelligent civilizations in the universe." In addition to it, Douglas McCoach, a psychologist who focuses on the cultural impacts of ET, said, "I think the real challenge is for us to be open to extraterrestrial beings who are very different than we are." People like Von Daniken and Robert are and have been searching for the answers. However, these are not ordinary questions and perhaps humans need to wait for the answers to reveal themselves over time. Till then, shouldn't we be concerned about the life that is in front of us? The real question is not whether God and aliens exist or not, or whether they are two different phenomena or the same. The real and most important question is that what are we as humans collectively doing to ourselves, each other, and to this marvelous planet Earth? Perhaps our main concern should be to work on ourselves and reach our higher potential as humans. That's all for today's video. If you want to watch more, do subscribe to our channel. If you haven't done yet, smash that like button. See you soon.